So as Christians' traditions begin across the world, Syrian church leaders are advising Christians to scale back Christmas celebrations this year, despite assurances from new Islamic leaders that they're going to be protected. U.S. Ambassador to Israel nominee and former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee joins us now. Ambassador, you're about to spend, Governor, you're about to spend the next 4 years of your life right in this tumultuous region. If you were a Christian in Syria, from how well you do know this region now, how would you be approaching this Christmas?
With a great deal of caution. We don't know really what this new regime is going to do. We know their history, and it's not a good one. They say many wonderful things about how they're going to change and how they have changed, but we've heard all that before. Let's hope it's true. Let's hope they've really decided they're going to be civilized people and not agents of al-Qaeda. But the people who live there have to be concerned that this may be like a song from The Who. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
One thing is pretty clear: the new boss does not have good relations with the Russians or the Iranians, which is great news. We have an opportunity to kick them out of that area and stop the weapons flow as a land bridge right through that country. Israel has not stopped trying to take out the weaponry of Syria during this transition. What's their objective, as you understand it?
Well, they understand very clearly that they have to eradicate the forces that would do the kind of things that they did on October the 7th and that have rained down rockets and missiles on top of their civilian population. These aren't just military actions. These are the actions of an evil, corrupt, and disgusting group of terrorists. These aren't people from forming a government. These are people who would murder the most innocent among the population and do it intentionally. This isn't collateral damage. This is intentional damage. There's a big difference. And we also have to never forget that where this comes from is from the Iranian regime. So it's imperative that systematically and methodically Israel dismantle those forces that are set to take them down.
And they push forward in the Golan Heights because it's an ungovernable area, and they cannot let that area be pushed forward with this new regime whose leader, we had a $10 million bounty on his head, which I understand we're removing. And we did have a meeting, on the State Department official did have a meeting with him, and they said he's somewhat pragmatic. Let's see what that means. Just so everybody knows, there was 1.4 million Christians in 2011 in Syria. Now they're down to 300,000. I don't have to tell you, as a pastor, that Christmas and Hanukkah fall on the same time this year. It's very rare. The spiritual significance of that for Christians and Jews celebrating this holiday at the same time.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity. In fact, in Little Rock, I'm going to be lighting the first candle of Hanukkah on Christmas evening. I'm very honored to be able to do that. Obviously, my family and I will be celebrating Christmas mostly today and, of course, tomorrow, but also celebrating with my Jewish friends the incredible holiday of Hanukkah. And it's going to be a delightful experience, especially in light of where, God willing, and the U.S. Senate confirming, I'll be headed to the middle of the Jewish state sometime in early 2025.
Governor, we've had our hopes up before, but there's a sense with Hamas suffering such devastating losses and with Gaza in tatters that they might be ready to save themselves and give up the hostages. Your source, even though you're not there yet, your sources are impeccable. Your thought about how much hope people should have today?
I think they should have far more hope than they've had for the most of the 400-plus days that this has gone on, way too long. For the first time, when President Trump made the comment, and he said if those hostages aren't released by the time he's inaugurated on January 20th, Hamas will have hell to pay. And I think they understand he means business. As I've said several times, we're trading Barney Fife with one bullet in his pocket for Wyatt Earp. And I think Hamas understands. A new sheriff is coming to town, and he means business, and they better let those hostages go. And it's way past time. 7 of them are Americans, Brian. This is what's so frightening and sad. Those need to be let go. All of them need to be let go.
You're getting an extremely important position. You know that. You're going to sail right through confirmation. That's understood. I look forward to seeing your great work over there. Another great challenge for Mike Huckabee. And I'm sure you'll bring your guitar. Governor,
you bet.
Great to see you. Have a fantastic Christmas, and congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you, Brian, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
You got
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.